So let us discuss few of the qualities, few of the soft skills. That is the major part of every domain, and we can carry from one place to another. Okay. One thing I would like to note it here, that is the degree you have opted for. It is restricted for a specific domain, but the soft skills you have included in your personality trait, that you have it works like a feather in your cap, and it is always valuable. You can take it from one place to another, and all the times there are open scopes, there are open doors to improve. So what are these skills? The very first thing is your communication skills. As you can see, there are two types of communication, verbal and non-verbal communication. All of us know about these things, so I'm not going to discuss about these things in very detail, but the very important part is it works actually at the same level. Okay, if you are very good at your verbal communication, what is verbal? That is using words. Whenever we are communicating with someone using words, always try to find out the usages of the words. What kind of words you are using with and why you are using with. Okay, so written communication, oral communication, these are all the two parts of one, that is the verbal communication, right? Because all these communications are, we are doing it with the use of words. It is consisting of using words. So selection of words always makes a good impression on the mindset of the reader, on the mindset of the listener. And of course, if you are going to have a presentation, if you are going to have a face-to-face communication, always the audience, they will focus upon what kind of word selections you have done for yourself and for your reader. Okay, written communication, why I am talking to. For example, I am giving you, like the authors, being a student, we are suggesting few books to our students all the times. Okay, but they have a specific kind of selection. Why they are always try to opt or to read the book of that particular author only? Because they find it very convenient, they find it very suitable, the word selection of the author done on the basis of not on their level but on the basis of the reader. Okay, so whenever we are writing, whether we are writing a notices, tenders, email, whatever, any kind of letters, okay, we have to take care of the word selections. Oral communication, even if you are doing to, always focus on you attitude, because the business runs on the basis of you attitude only. We have to give privilege to our customers, our buyers, suppliers, stockists. Okay, but we should not have to give privilege to I, right? And non-verbal communication, of course, your body language, your gestures, your postures, your walking, your talking, your behavioral part, it matters, of course. I'm giving an example here. Like suppose if you two are talking, being friend or being a colleague, and if someone, the third party, is arriving there, gradually is taking a step towards you, and slightly if you are taking a turn too, it's a kind of clue for him that you're not welcoming him in the talk you are doing between two. Okay, so such kind of things always you have to take care of. Of course, you have to learn about this, because the non-verbal communication, it varies from place to place. It varies from culture to culture, and it varies from profession to profession. So always try to learn about these things. And what are the advantages if we are inculcating all these qualities in us? The very first is it helps to build relationship. Relationship not for a short time period, but relationship for a longer time period, because nowadays the world is of a good network. Okay, whether you are working on a higher, middle or lower designation, or whether you are working in professional or technical career, professional or technical domain, always you should have a good network of good people, right? And effective communication will always lead you towards success. That is only the way. That is only the very first step to door in, right? And people are going to be your follower. Okay. If you are working on the designation of a leader, okay, and if you don't have the qualities of a leadership, people definitely will follow you, because they are accustomed to, okay, they are guarded by the rules and the professional ethics, but they are not going to follow you, they are not going to pursue you, they are not going to be your follower for a longer time, right? So all these things, these tiny habits you should have to take care of, and these tiny skills you should try to generate If you are actually possessing all these things, try to make it an asset for you. Try to encash that on the basis of these things. Try to encash the opportunities always, right? Body language. I'm not going to read the words here like it's a physical behavior, it's an expression, because I have already discussed the terminologies, that is your gesture, posture, walking, talking, and everything. But I want to focus on the percentage. I have mentioned it for you. Mehrabian's communication model, if you will see in the books of communication, or if you will go through the net even, you will find that whenever a person communicates within a day, how much the percentage of words he or she is using to? Only 7%. Okay, and being human being, we are focusing much on our words. That is, we are always alert and careful about our wordly communication. But rather, what we have to do? We have to focus more on non-verbal languages, because it covers 55% of the communication part. If you will go through the text, you will find a circle diagram mentioned there with the percentage and using different colors. You will see 55%, more than 50% area, more than 50% focus. Always a person focuses on with whom he or she is talking to on his or her non-verbal language. Okay, only hardly 7% communication, it matters with the words. And what about these 38%? That is how you are using your paralanguage. What is this paralanguage? Paralanguage means your voice modulation, your pitch, intonation and all. The best example in the world I can say, that is of Amitabh Bachchan. Okay, nowadays in India, if you will see, he is a big celebrity. At this age of, when he has crossed his 75, he is more demanding than the young stars, the young celebrities, and he is working in every domain. Okay, right? Whether it is OTT platform, whether it is social media, whether it is blog. Okay, of course, in the movies of Bollywood, he is working, but he is an international celebrity. It's because of one thing, that is his paralanguage, right? So, all of us, we have to work equally on. We should learn where to put stress if you are communicating orally. Okay, how to use your voice, how to use your pitch. Okay, all these things we have to learn upon. Like if you are giving an official presentation, so if you want to emphasize more on two things only, then you have to raise your voice at the same time. And the less important things, what you can do for, you can manage your pitch and voice accordingly, right? It never needs a high stress. Then comes, that is your decision making and problem solving skills that I have already discussed with you. But here I would like to take you to the points I have written over here. That is, in every job there is a kind of problem. Okay, so what we have to do? Should we leave that job? So how many times we will leave? Because problems are always associated with us. Okay, so rather what we have to do? We have to raise, we have to learn what? Our analysis, logical reasoning, and we have to use all these. Actually, we have to implement all these. That is the observation, doing brainstorming and decision making. Okay, because all these skills are interrelated with each other, right? So what kind of decision maker you are? You are systematic with your rational approach, or you are intuitive. You are using your emotions at work. If you are going to use your emotions, not always it is entertained, okay, by all. Not always it is going to be welcomed by all, because on the basis of emotions, we can take the decisions up to certain level only. But what we have to do? Rather, we have to work on the rational approach. We have to give our logical reasoning and critical thinking to it, so that the outcome of the decision is going to be favorable and welcomed by one and all. It is not going to make a harm to an individual. It is not going to make a harm to the group of people or to your industry or the company. Okay, all being a leader, all the times, if you are going to give a privilege to your emotions always, the seniors, they are going to leave your industry or the company gradually. Okay, because they are not going to feel you, they are not going to feel satisfactory working with you, right? So before you are taking any decision to solve any problem, what you have to do, the very first part is, that is brainstorming. Give a logical thought to your brain. You have variety of ideas in your mind, my friend. You just believe me, you just trust on my word. All of us, we are there with n number of thoughts. But what we do, few of us, we are actually from the gist, from the core of our heart, We are working for the same. Few of us, what they do, they feel like we are not getting that much of package, why we should have to bother about it. Okay, so we are in that restless position. No, we are not in restless position, we are in resting position. Okay, and that is the reason your growth has stuck. You're not able to solve that problem. You're not actually involving in and indulging in that, right? So always give a logical reason, do the observations, and on the basis of that, do the brainstorming, do the analysis of the situation, and then take your decision. Definitely you are going to get a good success. Okay, and that is always not associated with one position only, that is of a manager, because all of us are managing so many things at the same time. All of us are possessing managerial skills. If we are not a good manager, we cannot manage work and life both. We cannot able to manage the responsibilities, whatever the people they have assigned to us, the senior authorities or the management, right? Even if we are talking about the leadership. So what are the leadership qualities? If you will see, these qualities which I have already discussed with you, that is decision making and problem solving, it is always associated with leaders as well. Okay, so what are the good qualities of a good leader? Okay, even if you are switching from one place to another, you are applying for the next position, the employers, they are finding in you the leadership quality. Okay, so what are these qualities? That is management skills, how much you are able to manage yourself, your place, your designation, your customers, when you are going to be there in the seat you are going to be appointed for, how you are going to entertain people with your management skills, so how well you manage. Then your mentorship quality, generosity, then innovation and creativity. Okay, like your employee motivation. Being leader, it is very, very, very much expected from all the leaders that if each and every step you should try to motivate your employees, even if they are dragged, okay, they are occupied, they find themselves that now we are in trouble, we are in a very good or we are in a very crucial situation. In both the cases, you should try to motivate them by your felicitations with your words, awards and rewards, right? Then conflict management. What is this conflict management? Conflict management is always there between two employees, okay, between two parties. So always work upon the win-win solution. What is this win-win solution? Not always give a privilege to your own, but try to give the privilege to others as well on that equal platform. If you will work on this win-win situation, definitely the problem is going to be minimized or subside, right? So if you will see 50% I am okay and 50% you are okay, and now both of us will take the decisions in a very collaborative way, believe me, most of your problems are automatically going to be resolved, right? Then comes the negotiation skills. All of us are negotiating every day. If you will see a child, if you will see a kid, what is he or she is doing? They are negotiating always. If you are going to offer a candy, and if you will say, take this candy and give me your ball, no, he will say no. Why? Because his judgment says the size of the ball is big rather than his candy. So what he is doing, he is negotiating with you. Okay, give me two candies, then only I am going to give you this. Okay, so negotiation is always in existence in every profession. So how well you are negotiating with others, so that you are not going to lose the good parties, you are not going to lose good deals, right? And then your critical thinking always. Fine. Very important part here, that is the time management. Prioritizing, planning, and so many things. Okay, for the time management always comes up. Why? Like all of us are very busy. We have our own schedule. We have other responsibilities as well. Okay, but how you are giving numbers to it? Okay, whatever goal you have set it for that to achieve, you have to work hard. Okay, if you want to accomplish that task on time, then you have to give the priority to the work. Okay, so you should learn how to give the priorities, how to plan. Then if you are working on all these, definitely you are going to achieve that goal, whatever you have decided for, and without any stress. Time management is the best solution to handle the stressful situation. Okay, fine. Why? I'm giving you an example here how we can do this. Okay, like a person who is working on his post with a regular task is occupied with, and all of a sudden, if an emergency case is there and somebody is offering you, okay, leave that and do this first. And if you say, no, I'm a very perfectionist person, and unless and until I'm not going to accomplish my work, I'm not going to do this, then you are going to lose, or the company is going to lose. So you have to give the priorities as per the work assigned to you, or as per the responsibilities you are handling every day, right? So my dear friends, this is very important soft skills, that is adaptability. Adopt and adapt. These are the two different words that all of us are acquainted with. So I'm not going to explain what is adopt, but adaptability is a very, very needed part nowadays in every profession, right? Why? A person who is always ready to do the adjustments, okay, who find himself very comfortable at every situation, or otherwise he says, I am okay, I'll manage accordingly, no problem, no issues, no worries. He or she is always welcome in every position, right? So what are the soft skills? What are the skills of adaptability? That is the first, self-management. Like I said, if you say, ki sir, not to be worried, I'll go to that place, I will visit to that place and I'll manage myself. So you are always welcome. You are always going to be the first choice of the management, because you are always ready to take the risk and challenges, right? Then optimism. How much the time, how much the asset, and how much the opportunities you are encashing to, that is your optimism. The maximum utilization of the things, the maximum utilization of the facilities, and the maximum utilization of the all whatever is in front of you, right? Then with calmness, in a very, very smooth way, if you are handling all the things, you are always welcome by others. Then analysis and self-motivation, right? I'm giving an example. If you are visiting to attend a seminar or an event or a conference, okay, and if you are finding a huge crowd is always there and you are not getting a right place to sit, what you will do? You are going to stand there and you are waiting for others. Okay, let me find out who is going to come, who is going to bring a chair for me. So you will find two kind of people there. One who is ordering for a chair, okay, that person, okay, you just come to me and bring a chair for me. And you are waiting for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. He is not coming there with a chair for you. And rather, if you are arranging a chair for you, you're not mattering there that I am a guest here or I am attendee, I have invested that much of amount from for attending this conference or the workshop or the seminar here or an event. Rather bothering about all these things, you are bothering about not to disturb anyone, and you're doing an arrangement for the chair for yourself. So all the people, they have an eye for you. The best example is of Sudha Murthy, when she was there and she was awarded with the Padma Bhushan or the such kind of award, a prestigious award by the Indian government. So his family members were there, but they have not showcases any kind of such demanding things from others. They have not expected, and rather they entertained that situation. They were there in that situation in a very simple way. Okay, so till date, all of us are always talking about their simplicity. We are always talking about their managerial efficiency and everything. Okay, fine. Then comes that is teamwork and coordination, that all of us know very well. Being student, you are coordinating with your friends. Okay, being professional, you are coordinating with one and all, from the top to top authorities to the bottom, with your colleagues, with your supervisor, your manager, everywhere. If you don't possess these qualities, that is of coordination and teamwork, my dear friends, there will always be a conflict inside. Okay, there will always be a kind of question in the mindset of others. No, we are not going to entertain him for this project because he is not capable enough to work with all. Fine. So example of teamwork and coordinations, I have mentioned it for you. That is conflict management and resolution, then collaboration and coordination, right? Conflict management is very, very important part. Okay, if you are going to be adaptable, if you have quality of coordination, definitely there will be no conflict. Even if it arises hardly at 1%, you will definitely be able to resolve on the basis of your quality, that is of your collaboration and teamwork. Okay, you know how to handle the situation with your calmness, quietness, and with your cool mindset. You are going to make all agree at one point, right? Then comes the creativity. Okay, how much creative you are. As I told you in the previous slide, few minutes before, that is creativity and innovation. Okay, creativity is a cognitive process. It's an at essence, it's a potential of a person. Okay, so how much creative you are. Rather reading all these things, I would like to mention here one example, that is of advertising agencies. Advertising agencies, they are entertaining people, those who are always very creative. Two ads, if you have seen in India, that is always on the TV screen, that is the ad of the idea. Okay, they are always there with one statement, that is एक idea जो बदल दे आपकी दुनिया, right? Fine. So they are frequently changing their advertisements, and they are so creative in their ads that even not only the children or the elders, they used to give their 1 minute to see that ad, right? So how much creative you are, how much you will come up with your creation for further development, okay, for further progressive step for the company and for yourself. So for that, you should have to develop this skill of creativity. It's like an artist. Okay, what artists they are doing? They are always using the use of colors in a very different way, so that some creation should come up in a very unique way. So your unique ideas, your unique way of presentation, it always that thing for which people, or especially the top authorities, they are waiting for. Why, right? So what are the examples of these creative skills? That is your imagination, mind mapping, innovation, experimentation, and questioning. Okay, if you will see a mind mapping technique, okay, that is the that has been innovated by Tony Buzan. Okay, so if you will go through this mind mapping technique, what he has done, he has created a kind of circle, in that he has used lines with different colors. And why he has used that technique? To solve the problems, okay, to manage the loss which is going to be happen and which can happen in the future years if you are not going to be creative, if you are not going to be questioning, if you are not going to use your imagination first on the sheet of a paper to protect all these harms. Okay, right? So if you are using the mind mapping technique with your creativity and innovation, if you will do all these experiments on a sheet of paper with different colors, questioning yourself, what will be the next step, what will be the next step, because all these steps are interrelated with each other to achieve a certain objective, definitely you will come up with a good solution. And before you take a single step, before you are going to implement that, actually you will come up with the problems, and 50% of problems are already being resolved, you will see. Okay, so I would like to suggest here, all of you, those who are listening this video, I would like to request, whether you are professional, whether you are a student, please go through this in detail. That is Tony Buzan's mind mapping technique, and it is going to help you a lot. I'm telling you, it is based on fact, right? And next comes, that is your interpersonal skills, that we have already discussed. Interpersonal skills means your ability to interact with one and all. Okay, whether, as I told you, whether you are coordinating with your senior, junior, supervisor, co-supervisor, your subordinates, your colleagues, your teammates, batchmates, whosoever they are. Okay, always try to be there with these qualities of yours, that is your empathy, your humor, networking, and tolerance. Okay, fine. Even if someone says you any critical word, any critical comments, please pass out that with your tolerance. Okay, have tolerance for it. Why? Why I am telling you? It's because it's a matter of hardly 1 minute. If you are not going to react in the same level he has reacted to, definitely he's going to give you a thought that I committed a mistake, and might be you will see the next opportunity when he's waiting for you. Definitely he or she will come to you, or he or she will give a call to you, and he or she is going to apologize for his steps or the words he has passed out to you. Right? Empathy. Sympathy we should not have to show with someone. Empathy and sympathy, I always tell to my students, these are the two sister words. Okay, है ना, ये दोनों, these two R's always works at the same time. Okay, sympathy we should not have to show with anyone, but empathy we should always have. Okay, if you find a person in trouble, try to show your empathy with him or her and try to help as much as possible, right? humors always we should have to involve, and we should always try to make it a part. Why? Because it handles the situation, it handles the crucial situation, it handles the very, very toughest situation, and it makes an ambience very, very light and smooth. Okay, so these are the qualities you should have to develop, you should have to inculcate, and even if you have, try to make it more shining as much as possible for you, right? And this is the organizational and work ethics. Okay, wherever you are working for, you have a kind of responsibility, and you have to bear that responsibility, maintaining that discipline, and always being professional. It is expected that you should be committed for your job. Okay, you should be committed for the position. And why these commitments they are expecting? Okay, these commitments not only for the growth, promotion, increment, salary, but these commitments should be there with you for yourself, for designing a good image and identity, because your objective is not to be there within that four boundary walls for a longer year of time, but your main objective, your main goal is to achieve that heights which even if you have not imagined for, right? And professionalism, it should always be there in every professional. And my dear students, I'm telling you, at this age of teenage, you should try to learn, you should try to develop, you should try to inculcate in you. Okay, the very first part, that is discipline. Second comes, that is the commitment with you for yourself, not for your parents, not for your family members, not for anyone. Okay, but commitment for you, that I will do something unique and different in front of all. Fine. And responsibilities, you should try to understand. Responsibilities forced on you, and responsibilities wherein you are for you on your own, right?